welcome everyone. We are all witnessing rapid business transformation and disruption in the industry. The convergence of cloud and artificial intelligence are strong foundations reshaping the financial world. My name is Somesh Chablani, and I'm honored to moderate today's panel discussion on the immense potential of leveraging intelligence cloud and artificial intelligence for growth in the financial services. Today, we have a distinguished panelist representing both FIS and our strategic partner, Microsoft, all bring in rich experience on cloud, AI, and data. And over the next 20 minutes, we'll share the insights on today's topic. Let me introduce you to our panelist. From FIS, we have Yash Titus, Head of Service Development, Capital Markets, joined by John Peasy, Global Head of Innovation and Strategic Partnerships, Capital Markets. And from Microsoft, we have Lara Gadar, Senior Leader in Financial Services within the Global Partnership Division, joined by Hina Lee, Senior Client Executive at Microsoft. Thank you all panelists, and let's kick off this discussion with industry trends. We are all aware regulatory changes are shaping the future of fintech and cloud transformation. As per the recent industry research reports, the global fintech cloud industry will hit and touch approximately $195 billion by 2031. So the question to Lara, what's Microsoft's perspective on financial services industry and the growth? And from your specific perspective, talking to clients and prospects, how do you see the industry scale with cloud transformation and the convergence of AI?
That's a great question, Sumesh. And what we're seeing, Microsoft is very committed to empowering financial services industry as a whole. But what we're seeing, some of the key challenges facing banks, capital market companies, and insurance companies is all around how do they reduce costs, improve operational efficiencies, deliver differentiated customer and employee experience. Managing risk is an important one, and ultimately all in an effort to stay competitive in a rapidly changing market. So with that perspective, Microsoft has anchored around three key pillars when it comes to financial services. The cloud transformation, where we believe that it is essential for financial services companies to modernize their core systems, to scale their operations, enhance their resiliency, and unlock new business opportunities. AI and machine learning, we all know what powerful tools these are in the industry right now, and we believe that they could actually help financial services organizations harness the power of data to generate insights, optimize processes, personalize experience, create new value, all in an effort to stay both innovative and be able to do more with less. Customer engagement. So Microsoft understands that customer engagement is key driver of loyalty, retention, and growth for financial services organizations. And finally, employee experience. And the employee experience is important from a workforce transformation perspective because we all know that it is critical for attracting, retaining, and empowering talent in the financial services industry.
Thank you, Lara. Great insights. And with the convergence of cloud and AI, they say AI is electricity and cloud is the powerhouse. As Lara mentioned, we often hear do more with less. The new mantra is scale more with less. Over to John. John, based on what Lara mentioned, how is FIS responding to these challenges? And how is the conversation around cloud computing evolved inside FIS? Can you share your perspective?
Yeah, Sumesh, I sure can. This industry has been focused on cloud computing for over 2 decades. I remember back to 2008 when Microsoft talked about something called Project Red Dog, which today we know as Microsoft Azure. FIS and Microsoft, we've been on a cloud journey for a long time. We're great partners. It's been a journey with advances in all the obvious areas: security and automation, global support, DevOps. But as we look ahead, to 2024 and beyond, for how cloud computing will drive the financial, services industry forward, beyond our continued investment in expanding our cloud footprint and further enhancing our products and services to support the needs of our clients, I see a few areas of really significant opportunity. The first one is around data enrichment. The industry is a massive network, right, of financial services companies. Have largely been limited in their use of enriched data and for sharing their data. But I think that's going to change. That protection, I think, is going to give way to opportunity, particularly in areas like ESG and more broadly in RegTech, where enrichment, sharing of data provides mutual benefit and great potential. The second opportunity is around data sharing. I think data sharing is important. Moving data around in the financial services world today is hard. Think about FTP and APIs and manual batch processes. The opportunity to keep data in one place and share it is a powerful solution. It's simple, but it's a natural evolution of where we are. And it's going to create tremendous opportunities for us to better serve our clients and to work with our partners. The third and most obvious item is generative AI. It goes without saying. Back in March of this year, Microsoft announced their Copilot program, and it set a tidal wave through the industry. The other cloud providers announced similar offerings, similar but different offerings, but that tidal wave has changed the way we think. The immediate reaction from the industry was to think about applications. How do I use generative AI to build an application? I think more what we're seeing is the model that Microsoft's put forward, the Copilot model, where generative AI is working inside of applications to make them better. But we're also seeing impacts in areas beyond applications. We're seeing cultural impacts, productivity impacts, client experience. For me, this is without question the biggest transformational moment that this industry has seen since the advent of the internet.
Data is the new currency. Thank you, John, for sharing that rich perspective and how is FIS's approach to data enhancement sharing. So thank you. We all have heard and know about cloud and AI conversations with the C-suite always revolve around security, adaptability, and scale. Hina, question to you. As a senior client executive at Microsoft, when you talk to the C-suite, what are their concerns as it relates to cloud transformation and AI adoption? And how is Microsoft addressing these concerns?
Thank you, Samesh. Great question. Just not too many months ago, ChatGPT made generative AI just a household name. And suddenly you had the board of directors and the C-suite executives kind of wondering, wow, what are we going to do about this brand new technology? How are we going to take advantage of it to stay competitive? And at the same time, it's something new. What are we going to do about making sure it's safe and we're putting guardrails in place to ensure that we address things like quality, the control the output coming out by Gen AI so the answers are correct and relevant? How do we address privacy and security risks that cover everything from misuse and creating responses that are inappropriate? How do we ensure that our clients' data, our employees' data, and our company data is kept confidential, that it's not used to train these algorithms? So, and then legal IP concerns are another big area, which is how can we ensure that AI generated content, is not using IP belonging to others, and then who owns the rights to it, right? When you use it and create, whether it's new code or new pictures or videos. So Microsoft's implementation of what we call of OpenAI, the OpenAI is also known as the company for ChatGPT, the owner of ChatGPT, but Microsoft's implementation of those models is really within a client's tenant. So it's your data is your data. The quality is controlled because the answers are based on that data. They're controlled on that. It is not used to train any of the models. And in addition, just to make sure that the co-pilots that John mentioned and announced, that Microsoft has announced, that we kind of came out with a kind of a co-pilot copyright commitment so that we are protecting all our commercial customers from copyright infringement claims. And then at the basis of all of this is trust and ethics. And so Microsoft has been working on ethical AI for many, many years, even prior to generative AI coming on the scene. And that is at the very basis of how we are moving forward, whether it's regulatory, whether it's ethical, ensuring that we are taking all those things into account as we move forward as a company.
Thank you, Ina. I really loved your perspective on trust and ethics. That is the foundation for any business relationship. Also liked your perspective about OpenAI and generative AI. What I heard is essentially it's all about the client, their data, their environment, they are in control. A follow-up question, and that pivots me to Yash, talking about compliance and intellectual property. Given this increased focus on service capabilities and security, how are companies continuing to be innovative with their cloud strategy and AI while still addressing the concerns around privacy and intellectual property? Would love your insights.
Thank you so much. That's a great question. And just want to build over what Ina said, right? I agree with all the perspectives that she put forward and what we're hearing from the various clients that we have, right? So security and compliance is like in our DNA, at least from an FIS perspective, it's the bedrock of everything we do, right? I see three parts of it: security, privacy, and accuracy is center of how we are looking at it. And we're looking at it as a 360-degree view, right? So we want to make sure we keep the client's data secure. We want to make sure that we can innovate at a quick pace, but at the same time, do it safely and consistently. While looking at a 360-degree view and to get it to market faster, to your question, we've involved both internal and external stakeholders. So we have a number of cross-functional teams across FIs, spanning from legal, strategy, dev, etc., working with us. And then we're also leveraging the larger ecosystem and partners. Microsoft has been a great partner working with us on this journey. They've given us a lot of insights and guidance into how they've done it themselves, like Ina mentioned, and that has helped us create our own path to move forward. And we'll continue to work closely on this as we move forward. I see this as no different to how public cloud adoption was about 10 years back when we kind of started this journey and partnered with Microsoft. I'll remember when we signed up our first client, which is now in Asia, which is about 10 years back. We had all the same problems, all the same questions, many of them which are coming together. And it takes a while for us to find the right path and the right answers. I believe we are at the first floor or the ground floor of the journey as far as Gen AI and some of these newer technologies are concerned. But the way we did cloud is probably the way we will go with this as the technology evolves, in terms of making sure that everything is secure. We are, being a software company, we need to know what's under the hood and what we put forward in front of our clients. So we need to make sure that the results are accurate, that clients rely on it from us. And also, once we are comfortable with security and the accuracy of the data and that we can keep it private, then we will give clients and others, their assurances through contractual commitments and other things. So it's always going to be a balance between reducing time to market to make sure that everything is secure and we are complying with all laws and all of that. But that's kind of the balance that we work towards in the Gen AI journey, which is similar to what we did cloud many years back.
Thank you, Yash. Thank you for sharing your experience on this evolving journey. And I appreciate you stressing on the point of accuracy and consistency, which relates directly to intellectual property and compliance. So thank you. Another industry emerging theme is ESG, environmental, social, and governance. And I would like to go back to Lara. As Lara, you have interactions and conversations day in and day out with clients and prospects. Microsoft is at the forefront driving ESG internally and externally. Can you share what are you hearing from the Microsoft experts and industry leaders on some of the themes and trends as it relates to ESG and cloud?
Absolutely. So Microsoft is indeed a leader in driving ESG initiatives internally and externally. And in fact, we believe it's a moral imperative to commit to ESG for the future. And It's no surprise, though, that the themes and the trends that we're hearing is all around cloud computing and what cloud computing could do from enabling and empowering ESG. So, we see it along three main lines. Cloud computing can help reduce the environmental impact of IT operations. It could help by optimizing energy efficiency. It could help enabling renewable energy sources and minimizing waste. In fact, Microsoft has committed to be carbon negative, water positive, and zero waste by 2030 across all of our data centers. And that is a benefit to all of our customers and partners as well. The second one is when it comes to governance. So cloud computing can also have social impact with governance benefits by enhancing access, inclusion, transparency, accountability. And then lastly, it can help drive innovation because in addition to everything that I've said, it creates new business opportunities. So not only is it a moral imperative, but it comes with new business opportunities that could help companies transform their business models and operations and enable them to create new value.
Thank you, Lara. Clearly a direct linkage to cloud transformation, ESG, and positive outcomes with new business opportunities. That leads me to a follow-up question for John. John, how do you see AI playing a role in making a positive impact to the ESG initiative?
Oh, Samesh, thanks. The CSRD was adopted by the European Commission this past summer, and it requires companies to report on the impact of corporate activities on the environment and society. It's a massive global challenge. But said differently, this is literally a lot of information to process: company data, environmental data, social media information, and more. And if that wasn't enough, the information is distributed across a connected world of upstream suppliers and downstream distributors, each with their own set of information and corresponding risks. So to your question, generative AI it's a powerful solution for traversing this enormous amount of information and complexity. Today, it's primarily used in collection, analysis, and reporting of ESG information. However, there's a much bigger opportunity that comes from the ability of generative AI to reason and understand objectives. That ability, when paired with cloud computing capabilities, well-trained models, it provides the opportunity to leverage AI to start to manage risk in near real time. And this is where it gets interesting, maybe best illustrated by a few examples. The first is network risk. So corporations can leverage generative AI to better understand their network of suppliers and distributors, not their their system networks, but the relationships that they've got to deal with in terms of network risk. Taking all that risk in real time across all of those different parties would be almost impossible without AI. So we're seeing that as an area of opportunity. The others may be more obvious. It's investment risk. So traders, portfolio managers using that same corporate information, perhaps climate data as well, to identify investment opportunities or protect their downside. But as it relates to ESG, managing allocation risk and understanding what's happening in that network and applying it more practically into the industry. The other example is public perception. So nearly 40% of Americans report being familiar with ESG. The numbers in Europe are slightly higher for obvious reasons, but consumers are increasingly demanding transparency of information and ethical behavior from companies. And so generative AI allows for things like social listening, natural language processing to track public sentiment, it's identifying trends and isolating issues so that companies can drive corrective action, but also so they can be aware of basically what social media is sharing about them at scale. And so these are all just a few examples, but I think they convey the power of generative AI as it relates to the ESG puzzle.
Thank you, John, for enlightening us and sharing these examples, which explains the impact and importance of sustainability reporting and its relation to climate and financial risk. Very, very insightful. That leads me to a question to Hina. We are seeing an emergence of value unlock. 5 years ago, cloud adoption was all about cost. From your perspective, talking to C-suite executives, has that changed? Or what are the key drivers today when we talk about cloud adoption and AI?
Absolutely, Samesh. There's a lot that has changed. I think, a long time ago, the journey consisted of cost. It was like comparing to private data centers. Today, I think customers have gotten accustomed to cloud providers providing more reliability, providing more security, and the comfort has grown. And so agility and efficiency in operations are continuing to now play a greater role in that decision going forward. Another big one is business growth. If you look at, GDPR or other data regulations across the globe, it's almost impossible for people to set up data centers in each country. So cloud gives you a very cost-effective way to expand your business and expand your presence without having to make those huge capital investments. Again, AI is again going to now be another huge factor driving the cloud growth. The two literally go hand in hand. When you look at the expense of what it takes to stand up the AI infrastructure on the back end, it's very few people that can, of companies, I should say, that can make those types of billions of dollars of investments. And this is going to be drive the cloud growth because you're in order to take advantage of AI, you are almost definitely going to have to go to cloud. So the democratization of generative AI and the easier access to it through cloud service providers like Microsoft is going to accelerate this adoption in every industry, not just financial services. So as a consumer and as every one of our clients is a consumer as well. And their expectation as they use this technology in their day-to-day life is going to be to come to expect that from any of the companies that they do business with. So the bar is going to be set high, and the participation by companies in AI is going to drive cloud adoption in a significant way.
Thank you, Hina. Definitely, scale is the name of the game, and the new mantra is scale more with less. So thank you for that perspective. Go-to-market is all about time to market and speed to revenue. And at FIS, I have the privilege of closely working with Yash. So Yash, as your role and head of service productization, what innovative services do you see being rapidly developed due to this convergence and marriage of cloud, AI, and data?
Yeah, just thanks, Amit. This is a great question, right? So I think cloud, data, and AI integrally entwine and cannot succeed without each other, right? Data is being the bedrock of everything. Like someone said, data is the new oil, and I definitely agree with that because you need to refine and process data to get new value. But with the point being, without good data, you really cannot get some of the results that Gen AI has, and without cloud, like as Hina said, you cannot democratize it, right? So the cost of doing Gen AI or even large quantities of data is prohibitive unless you have the cloud option to do it. If you were to do it individually, it would be a lot of companies and a lot of people would not be part of that process. We at FIS have been fortunate that we've been on the data and the cloud journey for a long time, so we're able to now catch on to the next things of what we can do with newer technologies like Gen AI. And what we are doing is looking and leveraging use cases that make sense, where we can empower our solutions to kind of be more smart and be more adaptable to the market and kind of provide better insights around all the wonderful IP that we have across the financial services food chain. What we are also doing is that we're taking away some of the risk and the capital required for a large number of clients. And I think it's really important for clients which are in markets, in growing markets such as in Asia Pacific, Sub-Saharan Africa, and LATAM, where we can bring them the same technology base and they can use that to grow and move their business faster and get more competitive in the global race.
Thank you, Yash. Loved your and Hina's perspective on democratization of AI is indeed an enabler to disruption and new business models and scale. Thank you, Yash, and thank you to all the panelists to provide great insights and perspectives on leveraging the intelligence cloud and artificial intelligence for growth in the financial services. It is very clear that change and disruption are inevitable, which in turn transforms business in creation of new solutions, services, and business models. Thank you to our audience for tuning in and listening to today's conversation. This concludes today's panel discussion, and we hope to see you again for another insightful discussion.